Vaccines. The world of medicine. Every day, millions of people around the world suffer from minor and serious illnesses and receive treatment for them. They may have become infected with a disease, had an accident, or been admitted to hospital for routine or emergency treatment. They are looked after by healthcare professionals who have been trained to give the care they need. Patients rely on these professionals and the treatments they give to return them to full health. Sometimes, medical problems are life-threatening, but a huge range of life-saving medicines and treatments are available to healthcare professionals to help them to prevent, find, and treat medical problems. Vaccines are an example of this kind of life-saving miracle. Wait a minute, I haven't finished reading this yet. Let me just come back to the page. Since 1900s, worldwide average life expectancy, the amount of time that a newborn baby is expected to live for, has more than doubled and is now over 70 years. Scientists are predicting that average life expectancy will eventually reach over 100 years in some societies. There are many reasons for this. Improved healthcare has been very important, and vaccines have played a vital part. The introduction has led to the prevention of many serious or deadly diseases. In many parts of the world, good health and healthcare are now accepted as normal parts of life. So it is easy to forget that this has not always been the case, and still isn't in some places. Diseases that can now be prevented easily and effectively by vaccines used to kill or permanently disable thousands of people every year. In this book, we shall be taking a look at the discovery and development of vaccines and the life-saving role in modern medicine. Wait, I think that we should start when finish reading this chapter and we have to do the quiz, right? Or I don't get the structure of this. Yeah, I guess that's the case. Alright, so let's continue reading. So what are vaccines in the first place? Vaccines allow the body to have a trial run at fighting a disease without the body actually being infected with the disease. A vaccine is a small amount of a safe version of the disease in a dead or weakened form. The vaccine is powerful enough to trick the body into thinking it has become infected, but not powerful enough to cause symptoms of the disease. Oh, interesting. Here's some facts of vaccines. Dead form is inactivated. Weakened form is attenuated. Say attenuated. This is a new word for me, so I'm gonna jot it down quickly later. The innate human system. This immune system is made up of the organs and processes of the body that give protection against diseases and toxins or poisons. Once an infection threatens the body, the immune system begins to defend the body in two stages. The innate immune system in the body's first line of defense. It is made up of physical barriers to disease, such as the skin and mucous membranes, and cells that attack any microbes that have invaded the body. Phagocytes and white blood cells that wrap themselves around invaders, engulfing and destroying them. Natural killer cells are also white blood cells that kill invaders by injecting them with lethal toxins. The adaptive human system. The adaptive human system is more complex and responds more slowly. Substances called antigens on the invading cells are identified, and the body then produces an army of cells called antibodies. Antibodies are specifically designed or adapted to find the particular antigen. Memory cells. The first time the body comes into contact with a disease, it can take several days for the adaptive human system to find back. During that time, an illness such as the whooping cough virus may spread rapidly through the body and cause serious problems. The antibodies that the body produces eventually break down after the threat of the disease has passed, but some human cells, called memory cells, remain in the body. If the body comes in contact with again, memory cells remember which antibody with the same disease again. Memory cells remember which antibody is needed to fight the disease. Then they produce huge numbers of that antibody very quickly. By tricking the immune system into action, vaccines enable the body to produce memory cells without the vaccinated person suffering the disease itself. In future, the body can fight back quickly against the same infection. You can help to protect your immune system by eating a healthy, varied diet, by doing lots of exercise, and by getting enough sleep. Whooping cough is also called pertussis and is a contagious disease that causes severe coughing followed by a whooping sound as the patient breathes in. Right, I'm gonna answer this question. What is a vaccine? A small amount of safe version of the disease in a dead or weakened form. It's obvious, so yeah. Wait a minute. What is the next question? Here. What can help protect your immune system? Having a healthy lifestyle. Fill in the missing word. The chances of contracting. What is this? I think that we're gonna answer this question later. I should answer this, right? Contracting. Oh, I haven't thought about this. Maybe polio or something. Which school is this book useful for? I think that I'm gonna have to finish this whole book before answering the questions, because there's some aspects that I haven't reached before, so we're gonna continue reading. Disease and how the body responds. The human body is constantly in contact with microscopic pathogens. These are tiny organisms, such as bacteria and viruses, that can cause disease if they enter the bloodstream of body tissues. Pathogens, which are often called germs, are found everywhere, such as in food, water, soil, and air. Although most diseases are caused by bacteria and viruses, some are caused by parasites and fungi. Diseases can be spread by coughs and sneezes, by physical contact, touching between people, and by touching infected surfaces such as door handles and surfaces. Some diseases are carried in saliva and other body fluids. As we've seen, antigens are found in the surface of bacteria and viruses. Antigens prompt the body to produce antibodies. The term antigen is short for antibody generators. Each antigen is different and each is attacked by a specific antibody. Antibodies are known as immunoglobulins, I think, are protective. Y-shaped bodies, antibodies behaved like sniffer dogs for the human system, finding antigens and sticking to them. They're fitted with special receptors that bind only to a particular antigen, just as puzzle piece clicks into the correct place and won't fit anywhere else. The part of an antigen to which an antibody attaches itself is called the epitope. The part of an antibody that recognizes and sticks to an antigen is called the paratope. Disease checklist. Bacteria, living single-celled organisms, multiply by splitting into two new cells. Viruses, non-living genetic material with a protein coating, live inside host cells where they multiply by building copies of themselves. Parasites live and feed or on in other organisms. Parasite worms can live in the human intestine and cause disease. Wait a minute, I have to find my glasses for a while because I haven't spotted it since my path through. So I'm kind of confused right now, but whatever. Fungi, living organisms, can be large, for example, toadstools, or microscopic, such as mold. No infections are caused by fungi. T cells and B cells. T cells and B cells are white blood cells that are part of the adaptive human system and fight specific infections. T cells are so called because they developed in a small organ called the thymus gland. B cells are so called because they develop in bone marrow. If the body is invaded by a disease, only the T and B cells that are specific to this infection respond. Different T cells have different jobs. Some destroy virus-infected cells directly. Some send chemical instructions called cytokines to the immune system. Other T cells help B cells to make antibodies. B cells recognize the surface antigens of bacteria and viruses and spring into action as antibody factories. The antibodies then stick to the antigens to form clumps. The body recognizes these as invaders and marks them out for destruction. Some T and B cells are memory cells. Each time the body is exposed to the same infection, they become better at fighting that infection. Innate natural immunity in babies. Babies are born with natural immunity to some diseases. It is a built-in defense system. This means it doesn't have to be learned by being exposed to a disease. During the last 3 months of pregnancy, antibodies from the mother are passed through the placenta to an unborn child. The types and amounts of antibodies that are passed depend on the mother's immunity. If, for example, she had had chickenpox, she will have developed immunity to it and will pass chickenpox antibodies to her baby. After a few weeks, the immunity of newborn babies starts to decrease, so infants begin a series of vaccinations against many diseases, usually from the age of about 2 months. The immunity that newborn babies have is called passive immunity because they have been given the antibodies rather than making them for themselves. Allergies. The body's immune system can mistakenly identify things that are harmless to most people as harmful invaders. Animals' fur and pollen, for example, can produce an allergic reaction, such as a rash. Anaphylaxis is a rare but very serious allergic reaction that can be fatal. Fact: a healthy body may produce millions of infection-fighting antibodies every day without the person even realizing that they have been exposed to an antigen. The history of vaccines. Variolation. Many centuries later, the practice of variolation appeared in Asia. Dried crushed scabs from a patient infected with smallpox were blown away with new or more with dry crushed up scraps from a patient infected with smallpox were blown out directly into the nose of another person. This person then contracted a mild form of the disease but recovered from it and was immune to future infection. By 1700s, variolation has spread to India, Africa, and southern Europe. Smallpox. Smallpox caused pain, fever, and a rash of spots containing pus. Around a third of sufferers died from the disease. Those who recovered were badly scared. Many who felt blind or brain damaged. The disease was thought to have been in existence for over 12,000 years, and during that time, it killed and harmed millions of people. Let's see how many pages left. We still have so many pages to go through. I think now I have to go to sleep because it's time for me to hit the sack and call it a day. But it's such a great book, and I'm so fascinated with some facts of vaccines, such as antigen and antibodies. So that's pretty much that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.